Hi everybody, my name is Splattercat, this is the Nerd Castle, and we are playing Craft the World. In previous episodes, we had started working on the longhouse. Now a little bit of time has elapsed in between here and the last episode. You will see that I have deforested, I have pretty much annihilated all of the flora, and some of the fauna anyways on the map. There's not a whole lot for us to work with here. One of my big complaints about this game so far has been that resources are not really that forthcoming depending on the map you sort of generate. Now what I would like to do in this episode is we're going to start laying out the rest of our longhouse, trying to make things more comfortable. I may replace some of these floors in here. Let me see, what am I going to do with this? Yeah, let's replace the front earth there so that doesn't cause this whole thing to fall in. But it should look pretty nice once we get it done. But anyways, as I was saying, we're going to try and get the remainder of our castle done here. As you can see, we pretty much got most of it done in the previous episode. We were getting there. We were moving right along, so it wasn't so bad. We've also got scaffoldings now, which are going to make our lives a little bit easier. The other added effect that this is going to have as we work our way through our home is that it is going to provide us with a new source of XP. Now, I don't think we're going to have enough wooden blocks to finish this whole thing off, but these trees over here are a-growing, and we've got a little bit of time left to play with before we have our next invasion coming in, about 30 minutes. We're running the game at, I think, 2 times speed right now, so about 15 minutes. Somewhere near the end of this episode, we should see ourselves getting into a tad of a bit of trouble with some of these enemies here. Let's get rid of this foliage. I don't know why foliage grows in your base, but it is sort of annoying, and I wish that it wouldn't. On the plus side, it does give us a pretty good supply of salads at all times, so there's that. If you wanted to look for a bright and positive side, which I always try and do, it's always good to be, I don't like to be that guy, you know what I mean, that sunshine and flowers guy, but I try to be positive because, I spent like a huge chunk of my life just being nasty negative, and I don't think it worked out so well for me. Once I started being positive, it seems like things sort of turned around a little bit. Things turned a corner, a metaphoric corner, I guess. I almost called it a simile, but yeah, I think I've got it nailed on the metaphor right there because I didn't say like or as. Let's get rid of some of these scaffoldings. There we are. No, don't do, nope, hey, stop doing things. Stop doing things that I don't command you to do, dwarf. Alright, then we're gonna have to put one in right there, we'll put one in right there, and we'll continue this path. Very nice. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to put like one left over here, but we're getting closer, and as a bonus, we're getting a ton of XP for doing this, so that works out great as well. There's nothing better than being rewarded experientially. I just made that word up. That's a word that doesn't even exist, but you know how we do it here at the Nerd Castle. Sometimes you just gotta make up a word and run with it. Is anybody coming with this final block? Okay, this dude is. Now then, we also want to start occupying ourselves as to finding our way out of this level. This series has gone on for a while, and I think the level ends once we find our way out. So let's focus on that for a little bit. Let's also get rid of some more foliage because this stuff, I don't know how it's growing out of the wooden walls. All I can assume is that maybe we've left little sprouts or something laying around when we've made this place. We're going to replace the front stone, replace the front earth. There we are. So that's looking a little bit better. And then what I can do over here is I can change that so that it looks a little bit better. Nice. And then in the future, we can probably put in some doors here just as added protection, maybe. Might look sort of nice. I don't know how that floor got messed up right there, but I'm going to do my best to try and make everything look nicer. I think they've patched in between here and the last time I played. I'm not so sure on that. I haven't looked at the patch notes or anything similar. However, how did this happen? Hold on. I want my front wooden wall back. Oh no, I used that to fill in the water. That's what it was. Okay, I remember why I used that. Are there any more trees growing over here? These guys are just enjoying the spring air, I suppose, although I don't really know what season it is right now in our lonely little village. But anyways, let's get to work. I think I'm going to start mining out some of this mithril, but I want to be careful about digging into this cavern right here, because as you can see, a dwarf falling in there right now would be really, really bad. I think what I would like to do, though, is maybe put those in, and then we'll also go back to our crafting menu, and we don't have a lot of ladders left either. Damn. Okay, so we're low on supplies right now, unfortunately. I've got a lot of, like, random utility stuff, but the real things that I need, things such as ladders, bridges, all that kind of stuff, I don't really seem to have a whole lot of right now. Let's start queuing up some of the things for them to mine out of the walls, because I do want to grab some of this treasure. We've got to make use of the Earth's bounty if we can. We'll move that up to there, and I don't mean the Earth's toilet paper, because Bounty is a toilet paper company, at least here in the States, so whenever I hear somebody be like, we must give thanks for the bounty of the earth, it makes me think about toilet paper. It's because I'm immature. That's really, I think that's the tearing point right there, is because I never quite grew up. I've kind of pulled like a little Peter Pan thing right there, but not quite so creepy and kind of full of pedophilia. I don't know, I always found Peter Pan creepy. Maybe it's just me, but I've always felt like the whole Peter Pan thing was a little odd. Just a little strange. And I don't think, maybe it had something to do with Michael Jackson. I don't know. Michael Jackson may have ruined Peter Pan. I'm not sure. This big old cavern down here we haven't really fiddled with. I would like to mine out some of that stone, so let's get some more stone too. In fact, let's take out all of that, because I would like to have stone walls at some point. I don't think we'll be able to do it right now, but like down here in this basement area, I would love to make this all underground stone, which would be kind of cool. What in the hell is that? Did we just get an airdrop, like Call of Duty style? Our dwarves, we're sitting here building walls out of just like old pine and things like that, and there's some dwarf over here with one of those antenna things who's just like, Roger. That's a Roger Tango. Drop it right in the middle. They're trying to do this a little bit more efficiently than I am. I always didn't like that guy. You know how you had like your little crate of plastic army men? Nobody liked the guy with the antenna. He was always the first one to go. I always felt kind of bad for him. I could remove these front walls right here, actually. Let's do that. That's going to save me a little bit of wood. We could also bust them out of the back as well. Yeah, let's do a little bit of reconstruction here. I wish I could speed the game up a little bit further, but I do like that idea. So let's start mashing out everything in the background. And I think I'm going to cancel the floor so that here I can continue to knock out these walls. Yeah, that's going to work out great. We were really short on walls, and I'm glad we managed to have that kind of out-of-the-box solution. I mean, it's thinking outside the box for me. For you guys, it may have seemed very obvious, but for me, it's kind of one of those little things that it slipped under my gaze. And then once we've hammered all that out, yeah, I've got a good feeling about all of this. Got a really good feeling about all of this. Cool. Could also drop a scaffold or two in here to really get after this stuff. There it is, very cool. And I think some of them are a little bit confused about their hauling queues right now. That's alright, as long as they're mashing out these walls so that I can make use of them, that's going to be super cool. I'm going to drop a door right there, we'll put another door in. Fantastic, things are really starting to pan out for us here in Dwarfland. I don't want that either, hold on, no, I don't want that to happen. No, do not make that happen. Let's go back to our crafting menu. And I need to drop wooden walls back into place. I put ladders in, but we don't really need ladders right now. Ladders are like, oh, they're all upset because we no longer need them. I don't know what to do with some of these blocks. I think I should probably go like something like that. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I think we can go with that for sure. Over here, though, we need to iron that wall out to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And now that my aesthetics are pleased, they're rolling around on the floor grumbling and moaning like they're having their backs shaved, we should be good to go. Cancel that. We'll whack that wall right there. Let's get rid of the scaffoldings. We'll destroy that wall. And then we're going to start getting rid of all these front walls too, because there's no point leaving them here. If we can make use of all this and save ourselves a little bit of lumberjacking time, I really have other things that I'd like the wood to go to. Like, our wood is spoken for at this colony. Unfortunately, our wood is definitely spoken for. Like an old married guy. We'll put that right there. We'll continue to get rid of all of these. We'll probably kill off that snail because we haven't committed Snurder in a while. So why not just get it handled? I am going to remove these ladders because we can make use of them in other spots. We don't need to iron that out right now. Looks like we've got some coal down there at the bottom. And then other things I'd like to work on. Let's go ahead and start mining out some of this iron and whatever that is. I think that's crystal right there because we were getting mithril from right here. I think that's crystal or something like that. I forget what it's called. It has a specific name, and me being who I am, I'm just no good at remembering names. So take that for what you will, my dear friends. We'll drop that up there. Very cool. A few more so that we can patch in the holes in our operation. Because our operation is quite holy at the moment, and not in the good way. Not in the paladini way. I love that word, paladini. I played a paladin in World of Warcraft for a long time, like since launch. Well, maybe not since launch, but since the end of vanilla I played a paladin. A holy paladin, to be more specific. I enjoy him very much. Never got into the ret stuff because when I was coming up, ret and prot didn't even exist. If you were a paladin, you were holy. And we had these things called res lines where you could res in combat back in the day due to a bug. It wasn't like working as intended, but you could res in combat, which made raiding a whole lot easier, as you might suspect. But anyways, played a holy paladin for a long time. I also had an MS warrior that I played for a while, but that was, well, I played him from launch too, but I played him mostly in BC, that during the during the days of Thunder Fury and Storm Herald. There we go. I'm sorry, not Thunder Fury, just Storm Herald. Just Storm Herald. Let's get rid of, I don't know why I hate that feature. Like, I really do dislike the fact that this stuff grows in my base. It annoys the hell out of me. Let's put in that final little layer of walling, and then we're gonna have to start figuring out a roofing solution, which is sort of interesting. I'm having flashbacks to my old means of employment. I'm gonna leave a hole right there so that we can get up to the roof in the case that we need to. Very cool. I am so pleased about this right now. It is just nice to be living in an actual domicile that is not just a complete and total mud hole mess. It'll keep the water out of our base too, which is really nice. Let's start replacing these floors here. It's also nice to get a little bit of like Minecrafting done every now and again. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy like building bases and coming up with all kinds of intricate designs. I said replace the roots with there. Do that. Well, my scaffolding suffered for it, but what are you gonna do? There we go. Okay, so it wants me to replace the roots. I was wondering why that wasn't going across quite the way that I want it to. Fantastic. And we're gonna leave a hole right there. I need to replace some of this too. So let's replace this front earth so that things look a little bit nicer. Cool. I am just pleased as pie how this whole thing is turning out. This is fun. This is my favorite part. Like, once you no longer have threats to deal with, anytime you're playing a sandbox game and you're done with all the threats, they're not really threats anymore. They're more just like little annoyances that pop in every now and again. And you get to sit around and just like make your base pretty. You get to do your Sims 3 thing. I don't know why, but that really sort of just kind of gets me off. Oh, I just dropped a dwarf to his death on accident. That's what he gets for standing on an active work in progress. A whip. You can't stand on the whip. It's dangerous. Let's put in the final block right there. We'll get that out of the way. The entire roof is now taken care of. We shouldn't be getting rained on any further. That door is opening oddly. I think I've placed it in the wrong spot. We'll have to go back and fix that door in just a minute. I would also like to get some of my scaffolds back, so let's do that. And there's a snail hanging out on a little perch. He just fell to his snail death. He can't take it anymore. Snail life is just too difficult. But when you've got dwarves running around committing ridiculous snurder every couple seconds, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Let's get those turned into what they need to be. Oh, and we're under attack. That ghost had a bad day. That ghost picked the exact wrong moment to show up. And he paid for it. He definitely paid for it. Now then, our zombie friends are no longer bothering us. It doesn't look like we have anybody abroad kind of sitting around getting themselves into trouble, which is good, because oftentimes what I find is my dwarves enjoy getting into trouble. What I would like to do now is maybe think about illuminating some of these areas so that I can really plot out our next course of action. So let's start putting some torches in all over the place. Maybe one over there. There's a barrel in here, but I don't really think we need a barrel. I'm going to leave the barrel where it's at, just because, you know, barrels are up to no good, whatever. I don't really know. Even though the door is closed, it appears as though he's still got a gnaw on it for a while. I don't question undead logic. I guess they just don't quite get it. I'm going to trigger them all for murder, and hopefully we can wipe them out rapidly without losing too much HP. Iron weapons are doing us quite well right now. Get rid of that. I don't know why that thing is still up there and bothering us, but we need to leave an access hole. If you're wondering why I've left that there, it's because we need to leave a spot through which we can roof everything. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and we're going to jump into our crafting menu and let's have a look around. We can do shingled roofs. And we can do that with clay and water. How much clay do we happen to have on hand? If we have enough clay to pull this job off, we've got plenty of water. I think to make clay, though, you had to do something unique. Like, you had to go through and... I don't see where my clay is at. Maybe it's under a different menu. There it is. So we only have a couple of clays, unfortunately. And then we need a coal. So we'll throw that in there, and then we need some water. And how many roofs do we get? Okay, we get plenty. That's fine. 21 roofs should cover us perfectly. And I didn't mean to do that in a punny way. It just sort of came out that way. I apologize if that was a cringe-worthy pun, but the roof has definitely got us covered. Let's go ahead and start dropping roofing tiles into place. Oh no, we don't have enough, weirdly. Okay, so we're gonna miss it by one. And And I don't think that looks very good either. Hopefully they sort of bind together in a way that looks normal. I don't really know how to do. I mean, I could put another layer above it just to sort of give it that effect. But I think I've seen screenshots where the roofs looked a little bit better, so that might be something I have to fiddle with in between episodes simply because I don't really understand how it works. I seem to remember roofs looking a little bit different. It might be because... Oh yeah, they are binding together. Okay, good. That's one of those little... I'm always impressed when developers think about doing things like that. I need to put in another scaffolding, I think. There we go. Now they can work their way up. But anyways, it's one of those little aesthetic things. It's one of those... It's purely based on the way that you want your base to look, but when developers don't add little things like that, it just sort of ruins the game for me, and I don't know why. And I really like the fact that Decavir has gone to all the effort to make it so that your roof actually looks like a roof. I like it. I like it a lot. And what we'll do in between here and there is I've got to go find myself some more clay, maybe. I think you can make clay, though. Let me go to my crafting menu. And how do you make clay? You make it with earth, water, and coal. Okay. So let's go with coal. A little bit of earth there. Oh, wow, you get a lot. Okay, so let's maybe go like 50 clay, and that should probably tide us over for any of the projects we need to do in the future. Let's go back to the roof building there, and I'm going to have to jump back into clay. We'll double-click that. We've got a little bit of water left, but we only need a couple more shingles anyway, so it'll be all right. There we go. That's weird. I thought we had 6 of them, but I guess we don't. I'll put one in right there, and as soon as that's clear, we'll put in the final linchpin block. Unfortunately, hopefully, I'm hoping that nobody's AI will get them caught up on the roof, because that'll be really weak. We've got another care package, and I don't know, is that like a wizard's robe? What is that? Santa's coat. Oh, it's for, okay, cool. It's for Christmas. I haven't played this game since before Christmas, so it's one of those weird things that I don't know if it's any good for our dwarves. It doesn't have info or anything like that. I think it's pretty much just, it's probably just a vanity item, so it's alright. Let's roll through and apply books to the people that could possibly use them. That one's a fisherman, so we're going to use a fisherman book on him to make him a little bit better at it. I haven't made any fishing poles yet, but we'll probably get to that in the future. I do like the way that we're taking this nice and slow. Those are Miller's books, so we're going to have him level up his mill ability. He's a swimmer. Do I have any swimmer books? I do. Cool. And I don't have any cookbooks. I know for a fact I'm a little low on those. Swordsman, we don't have. Archer, no, we don't have any archer books. We have a mage book. I'm going to make my archer into a mage. I don't really know what that does. If he starts shooting fireballs everywhere, X-Men style, though, it's going to make me super happy. In fact, it made me so happy right there that I got stuck making an SH sound. I was just like, shh, shh, shh. It's going to be super sweet. Okay, so they're all hanging out on the roof now. I don't blame them. Hanging out on the roof is pretty cool. I spent a large portion of my life hanging out on roofs. I don't hate on them. And then let's get rid of these final little bits and bobs. I don't really know why they're running around. Get rid of that crock right there, too, because I don't want it sitting in the middle of my base. Now, what do we want to do with all this space? Well, I figure we'll probably start putting in some new crafting centers or something. I don't know. Let's get ourselves working on some more lumber harvesting and also maybe some sheep harvesting, some sharvesting. Which sounds sort of suspect. It sounds like the sort of thing that might sully one's underwear, but whatever. Oh, don't jump off the roof, you dunce. What are you doing? They're like, we totally thought it would work. It's okay. I did that when I was a kid, too. We'll gather the water up as well, because we're a little low on water. And now that they're working on that, the nice thing about this entire cave filling in, I haven't really thought about it in a while, but this entire cave is filled in with all that roughage. We can get ourselves a nice supply of just a ton of salads in the future, so that's going to work out great too. How are our food tables looking down here? Let me go to my menu, and I'm going to put some apples down on the table. You guys said that I should rotate my foods around, so for now we're going to leave, let's go with berries too. We're going to go with berries and apples for a little bit. We're going to make sure that people are getting a little bit of vitamin A in there, maybe a little bit of vitamin C. I don't know if these are citrusy berries or what they might be. I'm still going to go straight for the steak, like when the administrator, Splatterdwarf, when I go down in there, Splorf, I guess I could call... This is becoming all too common of a habit right now. Is it because that door's closed? It's because the door's closed. Fantastic. The mistakes are almost always of my own making. It's one of those little things that I've noticed. Oh no! We have an invasion coming in, and I've been harvesting. Let's go ahead and cancel that stuff out. And the second everybody's inside, let's close that door off, and we're going to let the enemies amass a bit. I'm going to destroy that scaffolding so that they can't get all the way up on the roof. And they're still doing it anyway, so let's open the door back up. Whatever. and have everybody jump on him. Hopefully we don't have too many casualties here. These guys are a little bit tougher. Oh, we lost a dwarf. Unfortunate. It's because he jumped off the roof. He tried to do some crazy Assassin's Creed type stuff and ended up getting wrecked up. That's what happens when you try and be a hero. People try and act like badasses, and look what happens. I wouldn't choose the aerial assault. I mean, it makes you look cool, for sure. It works for Altair. It totally works for Ezio. I think the other guy's name is... God, I don't even know. I didn't play the third one, and I just got the fourth one for Christmas, and I've played it for about 3 seconds. I think he calls himself Duncan or something like that. But I think that's his pseudonym. That's his fake name. That's not actually his name. Edward. There we go. Edward something. I don't know. I almost said Edward Cullen, but I almost am positive that's not what it is, because that name is associated with other horrible things. Let's go ahead and patch in that roof right now, because we don't have a choice, and I really don't want anybody else up on the roof right now. It's just a recipe for heartache. I'm also going to fill in that block right there the moment that I can get away with it. Amazing. And now our house is looking a little bit better. The shingles are a tad cracked. You know, they might need a roofer in the future, but it's alright. Everything should be okay. Let me go to my dwarfy menus. And I'm going to send everybody to rest. That's not looking so great. We had a lot of people kind of get injured up there. Okay, so it's working out. People are sort of where they need to be. There's a ghost up in the bedroom. If there was a ghost in my bedroom, I would not be okay with that spot. I don't know how you make cobblestone either in this game. Like, I really want to make some kind of cobblestone for this background here, but just haven't been able to locate the pattern. If you guys know, let me know. I'll take a look around in the next couple episodes for it too. Back to our crafting menu. I apologize if this has been a little bit of like a Minecrafty Simsy episode. Some people are really into it and some people really aren't. You'll have to bear with me because I'm trying to make content that everybody will enjoy, and I know that people have mentioned sometimes. I've been getting emails from people that are like, oh, you're not building enough, you should build more. And so I enjoy building, I really do. I don't think building is super entertaining, but at the same time, I'm more than happy to do it if that's what people want to see. So there it is. We've gotten our longhouse done, and a very, very long house it is indeed. Let's remove these ladders so that we can use them later. And now everybody should be running out to get some wood. I'm not going to... Giggity. But anyways, I'm not going to go get those trees way out on the outside reaches. I will, however, sort of stack up for some of this stuff. That door is just bothering me, so I'm going to remove it. And we'll try and replace it a little bit better. I don't know why it's offset like that. It's offset really strangely, and it bothers me. I don't know if maybe I have to sit it out in the front, but for all the other ones, you can just put it directly below. I don't know why it's weirdly shifted off to the side. Oh, wow, they went through that food really quickly. Okay, well, restock with apples. And a little bit more of that. And we might think about grabbing some grain or something. Let's go to the crafting tree, and we've got a couple minutes left in the episode. I want to make sure that I'm not working improperly here. So we've got round windows, which are going to take us a little bit of glass and some wood. I think I'm going to make a few of those. At least so we can get some light up in this house. Yeah, I think I'm going to try and make them... Let's go with, I'd say maybe like 9 of them. I don't really know how many I'm going to need in order to make this symmetrical, but I'm going to try and get as many as I can. Just kind of... Oh, they've got to be crafted too. Okay, that'll work out. Once those are down, I'd also like to make, what is this right here? Once again, I've shifted the, unfortunately the UI does not adjust. I've changed the resolution of the game via the INI file. And unfortunately, when you change the resolution with the INI file, what you end up with is that the UI doesn't change sizes as well, so sometimes things become unclickable. So if you see me sitting here clicking on something and it doesn't appear to be working, don't stress too much. It's just because I've changed the UI size, and unfortunately, I'm paying for it now. I need to make another wheel so that we can work on this wagon, and I just realized we've made no advancements on our tech tree right now, so they need to craft that wheel. And the moment that that's done, we're going to jump in, make a wagon, and I think that leaves us with a really good spot to end this episode. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World, the fantastic little simulator that was designed by Decavir, a company that I really didn't see it coming. I think they've done a tremendously good job with this game, and I look forward to playing it further with you guys in the future. I will see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.